Hey guys, what's going on? This is Sam here from iOS,
And I'm Jake from Lego My Django.
and I would like to welcome all of you sincerely to episode number 4, I believe, of the Jailbreak Jab, and we have quite a bit to talk about in this episode.
Yep, we haven't had one in a while.
Yeah, apologies. Finals were like
That makes no sense, though. There's not a big excuse because it's summer now, but
yeah.
sorry.
We kind of extended we took advantage of the free time. No,
Yes.
I'm joking. But the big news of this week is the Pangu Chinese jailbreak. Out of the blue, yesterday, which was...
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, seriously, like all of a sudden, I was just on Twitter, and I Hate Snow tweets out, he's like, oh, who's going to start the drama with pangu.io? And I was thinking, oh, it's just one of these fake websites that people try to make look legit, because there's been websites just like that says, oh, to get this jailbreak, you have to complete X amount of ads, and of course, it's completely fake. At the end, you get nothing, or they give you like the unflawed.dylib that hacks your phone.
I've gone through one of those once. I made a fake email account to go through those full ad things, and I did not get anything at the end. I just wanted to see what would happen.
Yeah.
This jailbreak, I was kind of surprised because I go on YouTube and I go, look, finally there is a 7.1.1 jailbreak out, a tethered jailbreak for the iPhone 4, I think, not the 4S, but the 4. Took them a really long time to get that out, and then I watched the video and I learned that it's an untethered jailbreak for all devices, so that's pretty nice to learn.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, excuse me, it was just out of the blue. Just all of a sudden, people started verifying if this was legit. I Hate Snow, I know, did his homework to make sure there was no malware installed on everybody's devices, because as you know, the unflawed was from China. When people looked it up and saw where the source was, it was basically you could possibly get this if you were getting things off pirated repos, and the source was from China. So, like, that is, as soon as I heard and saw that the site was completely in Chinese, that's the first thing that went into my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just a complete reboot of that cycle. Unflawed is going to be installed on your device.
It looks really sketchy.
Oh, it does. Even the website still now looks sketchy because it's in... I mean, it's not really fair because, of course, the Chinese people are... The Evasion 7 probably looks sketchy.
Right.
It's just because we don't know Chinese. And...
Well, it's just kind of the logo. It's just, it doesn't look...
Doesn't look 100%
very...
legit.
Yeah, it doesn't look, like, trustworthy for some reason.
Yeah.
It's a cool logo, though.
Yeah, I have to say that logo is cool. And this broke the, quote, evaders monopoly of the jailbreak scene. Some people were very excited that new blood was in the jailbreak scene, and it wasn't just...
And we haven't seen this guy before.
No, and this is like a whole team of people.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, they're called the...
Okay.
They're at Pangu Team on Twitter, but they haven't tweeted one time. I'm sure they'll tweet out like when 1.0.1 of the tool is released, and of course a Mac version is coming soon. Luckily, Jake here brought his laptop over to my house, and I can jailbreak my devices, so big shout out to him.
My little copy off MacBook Pro.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so I updated both of my devices, my iPhone 5S and my iPad Air. Of course, I left my other device running iOS 8 unjailbroken because I want to cover that for you guys on my channel. But Jake, did you update both of your devices?
Yep, I have updated my iPad, which was on a lower firmware, like 7.0.1, I think, to, the latest 7.1.1, and I have jailbroken that, and now I'm going to do my iPhone actually right here while we're doing this.
While we're speaking.
Yeah.
Hands on. But really, as far as the process goes for jailbreaking, it's pretty simple. The only thing confusing for me is that, like, even the tool is all in Chinese. It's very confusing what to click on, what not to click on. Everything is completely in Chinese, which is super confusing for, I know, a majority of probably those who use the jailbreak.
Well, I definitely... The most confusing part about it, you can just click it and just hope for the best, but you have to watch a tutorial if you want to know how to do this. At a certain point, you need to click an app that appears on your home screen.
Yeah.
And if you didn't watch something or see a tutorial or read something how to do that, it just would have been failing every time.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with evasion is like, I mean, I guess it's in English, the language that both of us speak 100%, so it says please click on the evasion, or please tap on the evasion icon right now, and then you know immediately what to do, where it probably tells you. In my opinion, I think it would have been best to wait until they could have at least gotten it translated to English or something along the lines of that. Because right now, I think it's just very confusing for a lot of people, and I know a ton of people are like holding off on it because they're probably thoroughly confused themselves.
Is jailbreaking big in China?
I don't know, but I did read on their website that the Pangu team said that they wanted to do this to show the technological power of China. It says that if you translate the page from, I think it's like hand simplified, if I remember from the Google Translate page, into English, it says like we wanted to show the world that China is a technological superpower, and it's not. Basically, they were saying that China can do tech stuff too, not just
Japan.
The invaders or whoever else. Yeah, Japan, China. That they wanted to just show what China's made of.
I mean, I know Japan is the big technological, has all the advanced cities and stuff, but China has that too, don't they? Or they just manufacturing is their big thing?
I mean, I don't honestly know. I just thought it was kind of interesting that they put that in like their almost description of their team, that they wanted to make it known that they want to show that China is.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, which is good. It's like it's nationalism.
Yeah.
It's good that they have that, and we can't blame them because people from the U.S. are the exact same way.
Oh yeah.
But it's very interesting, the backstory behind this.
So I think what you're very excited about this, Sam, is that it will draw people who are on 7.1.1 already and have unjailbroken. It'll draw them back into the jailbreak, and that will give more of a excitement here.
Yeah, so
to make more stuff.
Yeah, when 7.1 dropped, so many people either by accident or they thought that iOS 7.1 was going to be a trillion times better than 7.0.6 or 7.0.4. They just updated and they're like, oh, iOS 7.1, I'll get to mess around with this. And then, like, probably I would be assuming, because I know this is how I would feel, like a day later after they updated, they would be like, well, I'm kind of bored of iOS again. And I have to admit, iOS 7.1 was very appealing because it was very fast, very fluid. It had some new UI changes. It had a lot of good stuff all around that I think people, even myself, I had updated my iPod Touch before I just recently sold it. That was running stock iOS. Of course, I updated to 7.1 because I wanted to show off the changes on my channel, and I, of course, wanted to mess around with it for myself. But 7.1, it took out some steam in the jailbreak community. I just know it. It had to. Because it just seems like the excitement level... It's difficult to tell because when Alt Keyboard 2 and Apex 2 came out, I could tell there was a lot of excitement, but it definitely doesn't seem like there was the full amount of excitement when, say, Oxo 2 came out pre-7.1.
I just don't... It's not as big as a deal as it used to be. I mean, I just would have... I mean, I don't know if we've said this before. I mean, Winterboard still is not... I mean, we got a big city update recently, which was very good. I mean, it might be a little bit faster. I haven't really noticed anything.
Yeah, it's just basically got it's got like the fix for the status bar, and really it's just functionality UI changes. That's about it. It's got like the new repo section has its default, and then there's like a new recent page section for installed, and I like it. I mean, I have to say, it wasn't like a thing where I'm like, oh, this new city is the greatest update ever to be released. It was just like, oh, a new city update out. I like it. It's nice, but it's nothing. It wasn't like my reaction when Mobile Substrate got updated for iOS 7. To put it in that perspective.
That was really important, and once again, that's something that should have been even faster than it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd give Sark slack if we knew what he had to do besides this.
Yeah.
He's not a very open
no.
person about what his life is. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he won't tweet for 2 months in a row, and then all of a sudden he'll be like, massive city update dropped, enjoy. Smiley emoticon, and then he won't tweet for the next, and then when he does the fix updates, he's like, this is out, and then he won't tweet for like the next 3 months. And he'll be completely dead on Twitter, and I take that back. I think he is fairly active on Reddit. Because I don't have a Reddit account or anything, but I was on there one day. I don't even remember what I was looking up. It might have just been a link on Twitter that I clicked on to some like theme. Maybe it was even a tweet giveaway. I honestly can't remember. But I feel like he was on there, or he used that more frequently than Twitter or anywhere else like that, which he even has on like the bio of his Twitter. I have many followers, so I can't like reply to everyone or something along the lines of that. He has, I think, upwards of 450,000, if I'm correct on that, followers, which obviously he would because he kind of made Cydia.
Yeah,
and he has his link to his Twitter and Facebook on the main page of Cydia. So I'm sure that counts for a ton of people. But yeah, very, very interesting guy. Very quiet about what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that he's kind of like quiet, just like you would expect him to be in real life. Only kind of talks when he needs to. But yeah, Winterboard has not been updated since either February, like 11th, or January sometime. But it's, yeah.
I think it's pretty ridiculous that there's not all these features that were in iOS 6, like the UI bars on the top and bottom of the screen. Those used to be what made like the theme, like what made it stand apart from iOS, and now it's just always white, and all you really have is the icons. That needs to like change soon, like where you can have gradients, where it's like kind of you can add shines maybe, or just like something different than this just plain white. Now I'm not like a special like coder or know much, so if it's actually just like not even a PNG that you edit that with, that is just like an actual white thing, like it's kind of hard to describe, but like then I guess that makes sense. Also, what I noticed differently in making a theme, that when you want to make clear icons, which would to most people seem absurd now. I mean, you never hear about that anymore.
Yeah.
But it turns all other icons into what their icon would look like if it was not
masked
with
the rounded corners.
Right.
So
with
like,
the rounded corners. If you had like a clear mask, then it wouldn't. That doesn't work.
Yeah. So if like you're making a theme and you include some clear icons, instead of your icons being rounded, you'll just have like the full square icons. Because for those of you who might not be aware, I'm sure if you're just a theme user yourself, you probably have no idea that icons, when you actually make an icon, they're completely square. Yeah. And iOS has a built-in mask that makes them rounded and makes them look native on iOS. But that's actually not default. Like any theme that's square, it's usually square icons.
Which I am very happy that Winterboard did instantly allow you to edit that, because that was a big thing, was the icon mask, because it made all your icons look coherent with the theme, even if they weren't actually themed. Mm-hmm. So, but even on iOS 6, when you would make a clear mask, it would still have it generically by default. All the icons circle have the rounded corners, the square rounded corners.
Yeah, I mean, basically, Sark, if you're listening to this, we are ready for a Winterboard update.
Yes,
ASAP.
that would be great.
That would be great. But back to the pangu jailbreak. I was excited. Jake, I remember we talked on a previous episode about the possibility. This is when we thought Pod 2G would be making it and the evaders would be working on it. And you said, what did you say about your opinion on if 7.1.1 should be jailbroken?
I said that I did not want them to release a jailbreak because I didn't want them to use up the exploits, and then we wouldn't be able to jailbreak on iOS 8.
And I said I would love a 7.1.1 jailbreak because I want the speed and performance improvements that frankly just are not in iOS 7.0.6 or lower. I mean, before 7.1.1, since I've updated my devices now, I was just using Jake's iPhone for a minute with 7.0.4 still on it, and it feels, it seriously feels like something from like the 1980s that Apple put out. 7.1.1, just there's something about it that makes it feel fast. It's the animations, and I don't know. It's just hard to explain. It's just it feels it's not just it feels, but it is faster.
Now, I am actually completely fine that this was made. I mean, we don't even know if it uses the exploits that Pod 2G uses. Is he part of the evaders or no? He's not.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, so he is. So I would have been disappointed if the evaders made a 7.1.1 jailbreak. I'm actually pretty much fine that this guy or this team did. The Pangu team did.
Yeah, but I was definitely excited when I saw this, but I was very disappointed when I went to the website pangu.io and I moused over the Mac icon and I was clicking on it, and there was just nothing. There was nothing for Mac. You moused over it, it says the Mac version. After I translated it, probably an hour or two later, when I realized that this thing was completely and entirely legit, that there was no Mac version. It's still in development, so I had to wait an entire day. Oh, I know, a whole 24 hours. What the heck?
Sam was going insane. He was like, Jake, I need your computer.
Oh, I know. But, yeah, I really... And then we don't even have a working PC in our house. The newest PC in our house is a Dell from... It has to be from 2000 or 2002.
Yeah.
Something like that. And it can't even connect to the internet. It doesn't have a wireless card or adapter or whatever in it to make it connect to the internet. And I debated trying to drag this massive tower upstairs and Ethernet it. I'm like, it's just not worth it. I'll just wait till Jake comes over tomorrow so we can record the Jailbreak Jab.
Right.
But yeah, it was hectic. I was kind of scrambling around the house when this first was happening. I was trying to figure out how to get it, and I never got it until I just had to be patient and wait. So that's pretty much how it ended off. And now I'm jailbroken, like I said before, on both my devices on 7.1.1, which is great. I love being jailbroken. Now, as far as the pros and cons of this jailbreak, maybe you are still one of those people who are on the fence, you're not exactly sure. Well, I'm not sure if I want to do this. Is it worth upgrading? We're going to talk about all that right now. So the first is, what are the pros of this jailbreak? Well, the first pro is, of course, you get to be on the latest possible firmware from Apple at the time of recording this podcast.
Yes.
Which was 7.1.1, although 7.1.2 is rumored to launch very, very soon with some bug fixes and improvements. And of course, I'll have coverage up on my channel the day of release, hopefully, if that will be released. Some rumors are that it could come out this Friday, which would be June 27th, but that's all up in the air.
And I do suggest that you jailbreak on 7.1.1 or 7.1.2. Do you think that... You don't think that... I doubt Apple will patch what this does.
Yeah.
It's too late now.
Yeah, it's already planned, where with 7.1 they had like, I believe, a month or 2 months to patch this, where 7.1.2 I heard is coming in the coming weeks, as in probably either the end of this week or possibly next week sometime, just with, of course, hopefully, but just bug fixes and improvements. Not that I wouldn't love a new feature, but it is a 0.2 release, or 7.1.2. It's probably not going to be anything big like 7.1. Yeah.
So, I mean, if you really want to wait for it, you can. I mean, I'm not going to... If it comes out and there's a jailbreak, I mean, I'm going to jailbreak on 7.1.1. Now, I mean, it is good to wait because I don't know when we're going to see an iOS 8 jailbreak, and I'm not very hopeful that it will be coming anytime soon after it's released. And at the same time, iOS 8 doesn't do anything, where, as with iOS 7, where it was, I mean, a complete graphical overhaul, it was a complete change in what everything was. So that's why it took so much longer to do.
I mean, I just remember the tweak update when not 7.1, when the 7.0 jailbreak was released, nothing. I think maybe on the day of launch, two tweaks worked possibly. I mean, I know Hashbang Productions was really awesome. They released a tweak that worked like right off the bat when Substrate was updated. And even before Substrate was updated, I think this worked on an A6 or lower device, which was great because I wanted to test out this tweak. It was Switch Spring, which when you would swipe up on your home screen card, it would allow you to respring or close all apps, which was super useful because there was so much.
Can't believe that's still not built into generic iOS.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But then it's kind of obsolete now with OXO 2. But yeah, we were going to talk about tweak compatibility with 7.1.1 or even just 7.1.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, it's good. It's nothing compared to when 7.0 was released. However, there are quite a few things that don't work. I mean, I know myself because none of these tweaks, some tweaks have been updated for 7.1. The majority of all tweaks on Cydia have not been updated to work with 7.1. Like, OXO works so well. It is so smooth. I just can't even explain it. It is so smooth. If you're a fan of OXO and you you deleted it off of 7.0.6 because you might have thought it was too slow or something along the lines of that, upgrade to 7.1.1 right now, Jailbreak. Install OXO 2. It is so smooth. I might even put a video up showing how smooth this is at some point because it is absolutely crazy how much better and performance-wise iOS 7.1 is. Mm-hmm. But it's crazy. There's really no reason at this point that you shouldn't update. Maybe if you have a Mac, you just have to wait till the Mac version is released, hopefully very, very soon. And of course, I'll have a video up on that just about probably as soon as it comes out. But yeah, tweak compatibility. I know like Alt Keyboard 2 and Apex 2, they do not work. I can't even swipe down on icons, at least on my iPad with Apex, to add additional app icons underneath. It just crashes right off the bat. OXO crashes randomly at some point when you maybe swipe up on a home card or swipe down. Because nothing, like I said, is 100% on 7.1. There's some betas on others' personal repos of their tweaks that they are trying to improve and make it work. And there's very few tweaks, like I mentioned before. I know even Activator is not updated officially to work with 7.1. Ryan Petrick added that to the Activator's depiction that this is not updated for 7.1 yet. And as you know, Activator is arguably the most downloaded, I would say the most downloaded Cydia tweak of all time.
Probably, yeah.
I'd
say Activator it's like so essential to like. I mean, you might have it installed and you might not even realize it.
Yeah, it's so many packages build off it, or their extensions, or they incorporate it somehow into their package.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, and even that, like I said, isn't updated. So, I mean, if you're on 7.0.6 and you want everything to work 100% perfectly, you might want to stay there for a couple days, maybe until like the smoke clears and everything gets updated. But really, if you want a faster jailbreak, now is the time. You should definitely update as soon as possible if you're comfortable with that kind of thing, because Apple could patch this technically at any time, and then if you need to restore, you're going to be forced out of your jailbreak, maybe even yet again, if this happened to you from 7.0.6 to 7.1. Hopefully this doesn't happen to anyone, at least right now at this point in time, from like 7.1.1 to 7.1.2. I'm honestly really hoping that Apple does not patch this, because I love being on the latest version.
Just don't patch it, Apple. Just don't do it.
Yeah, just Tim Cook, Mr. Cook, please do not patch it.
You're at Apple.
We take great design responsibility into making iOS the most secure operating system. It is not a toxic hell stew like on Android.
Hell stew.
Oh my gosh. And I mean, overall, Pangu, it's A-okay if you're worried about that. It's definitely safe to update, definitely safe to use it.
Right.
And I mean, that's really just the main thing we wanted to talk about in this podcast, was about Pangu and how it came up out of nowhere and how it's a Chinese jailbreak. It's just very, very unorthodox for the jailbreak community.
I've never seen a Chinese jailbreak before. I mean, it's always been
When did you start jailbreaking?
Like I said, it was 3.1.2, and the first jailbreak I did was Black Rain. For a lot of you long-time jailbreakers out there, you'll remember that. It was just make it rain was the button, and you had to put it in DFU mode before. But besides that, that's all you did. And DFU mode is so annoying. But yeah, you did that, and it would do it. And then the next, I remember the one that I was very happy about was the Spirit jailbreak. And I don't remember who made that one. But the Spirit jailbreak, it was like colorful and stuff, and it was actually very simple. It was my favorite jailbreak. And then the next one I think was jailbreakme.com, which was also made by GeoHot.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the jailbreak community, it's changed quite a bit. I mean, I started only jailbreaking because of Jake sitting next to me right here on iOS 6. He was like, you should jailbreak. I was very scared, very nervous. And we've talked about this, I feel like, every episode since we've talked about the Jailbreak Jab. About everybody's first time and how it's so scary. But, I mean, yeah, the jailbreak community, it's really starting to change, it seems like. It's really going in different directions than, I would have never guessed. At this point, I honestly thought people were just going to save it for iOS 8. We were going to get our iOS 8 jailbreak right off the bat, which I thought would be good and bad.
So I think what I did here was that the Spirit jailbreak replaced the Make It Rain jailbreak because it was untethered, and the Black Rain jailbreak was not untethered, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it was a very simple one. It was only for 3.1.2, 3.1.3, and that was basically it. Oh yeah, and iPad's on 3.2.
Oh yeah, when that was like a specific...
Right.
But yeah, definitely let us know in the comments of this video. Are you going to be updating to 7.1.1? If not, what are you waiting for? What's holding you back? We definitely love to read and hear your comments and hear what you have to say on this. It'd really be interesting to see what your guys' almost overall view on this new jailbreak is. Do you like it? Are you a proponent of it? Now I think Jake and myself are proponents of it because we're glad it's out and it is so much faster.
Yep, I'm glad that this will kind of push forward to make a more excitement, maybe see some new tweaks.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Push Sarek to finally update Winterboard. And yeah.
I mean, yeah, lately the tweak scene. If you've been watching my channel, literally the reason I have not been covering tweaks is because there have not been any even remotely useful tweaks, in my opinion, coming out. I mean, there's been some super small stuff, but overall, guys, I hated to say it, but the jailbreak scene I felt was dying for iOS 7. I was very sad because I love covering tweaks on the channel. I love talking about jailbreaking in my videos, and with iOS 8 and with 7.1.1, like I mentioned before, I just felt like it was dying. I felt like there was... The cycle for iOS 7 was over, and I kind of came to accept that, and it was sad because I love reviewing tweaks, but it was something that I did have to accept. But now, I'm excited. There's fresh blood in the jailbreak community. There's a new jailbreak. Tons of people, once the word gets fully out and everybody knows about this thing like they did with Evasion 7, I think it's great for the jailbreak community as a whole. Hopefully, developers will be pushed to make new tweaks and to better their tweaks that they already have and add new features. I just have to say, overall, I'm really excited about the future of the jailbreak community just because of this jailbreak. A huge thank you goes out to the Pangu team for making this. I wouldn't know the first line of code to start to... I don't even know how you make a jailbreak. But definitely a thank you to them for putting in the hard work to do all this stuff.
Yes, and I'm very appreciative that they have done this.
Definitely. So, I think that'll about wrap up this episode, guys.
Yes.
But we will have an episode coming next week about our thoughts on iOS 8. Once again, sorry these were pushed back so far. We had school. And in the past couple of weeks, I think there were just some scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
Just me being somewhere or him.
Right.
He couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Something along the lines of that. So we apologize for that, but we will for sure be back next week. We are going to be talking about iOS 8, probably about OS 10.10 Yosemite, and what we thought about WWDC, what we're excited about in iOS 8, new features, all that good stuff coming at you guys in the next episode. So, thank you very much for tuning in to this week. I was Sam from iUpdateOS.
And I'm Jake from Legomai Django.
And we will see all of you in the next episode of the Jailbreak Jab.